Hey guys, it's me, Mr. 250, and welcome back to Tales of Berseria. So we're back in the village. Group is broken apart, and we're basically going to talk to everyone, so look forward to that for the next 10 odd minutes. See what's going on over here.
Listen, I don't know what they told you in Isolt, but our village has its own traditions. This village is under the divine protection of the Empyrean Aminoch. For unbroken centuries, a line of his priestesses have guided us. They're tasked with performing the sacred rites of worship. And sometimes, they even deliver us his words and will.
And there's still a priestess today?
Of course! And her daughter is training to become our next priestess. Although, I sometimes feel they push themselves too hard. Both mother and daughter are giving their all for Haria. But the Abbey doesn't care about any of that. And they stole our temple from us.
By force?
An exorcist named Teresa came and heard us out. But from the very beginning, she always intended on taking our temple. Her words may have been kind, but that doesn't change the fact that she demanded that we worship her god, Inominat. In all the years we've worshipped Aminoch, not once did we ever try to force others to adopt our beliefs.
Why haven't I seen this priestess she's talking about?
Sounds suspicious and slightly evil. All Mahina did was try to defend the freedom and traditions of her village. I see you sneaking around back there with your optional thing.
Do you plan on just giving
okay,
up?
there we go.
Palamedes is Aminoch's temple. The priestess isn't the only one whose job it is to protect that temple. It's the duty of everyone born in this village.
Why did the Abbey need Aminoch's temple badly enough to risk causing this much unrest?
But how will we protect our village from the demons if the Abbey abandons us? Besides, we won't be able to do business with the people of Isolt anymore.
Our faith in Aminoch has nothing to do with the demons. When the priestess gets back, I'm going with her to protest.
The demon blight changed everything. Will we never be able to return to the way things were?
The way things were.
You know, I'm thinking about it now. She's kind of making it sound like they're doing something suspicious with that temple. Like maybe there's like an earth pulse or something there. I wonder. I miss the old days. You remember the festivals for Aminoch, don't you? I missed how Mahina led us in singing and dancing all night. Those days are gone. Now it's time for us to follow the rules of the Abbey. Please, don't do anything rash. Let's see. No, I think it's just our friends now.
So she digs being called teacher. Well played, Laphicet.
She wasn't so fond of ma'am, so I guess he figured he needed an alternative.
You can tell how badly he wanted to help her with the languagey work. I think our Malak boy's finally finding himself.
So it would seem.
Humans and Malakim are really the same. Sounds pretty strange coming from a demon like me, huh? Ha ha ha.
Banning local religions. The Abbey sure knows how to oppress the populace.
I'd imagine that comes part and parcel with spreading the good word. Other gods would only get in the way.
From what we overheard, it sounds like they've taken over Aminoch's temple, Palamedes, to use as their base of operations.
Yeah, that's kind of what it's
Seeing it
looking
off
like.
would be provocative enough, but straight up taking it over? Not a lot of so-called reason to that. Unless... Do you think they need it for some other purpose?
Shrug.
Very likely. Way back in ancient times, people everywhere worshipped the elemental Empyreans, including Aminoch. But I guess things go in and out of fashion for gods and humans alike. I'm still messing with the microphone, so if it comes out quiet, I'm sorry. I don't think it will, but, you know, I won't really know until I'm done.
What connection do you think there is between the violent demon Teresa mentioned and this village?
Couldn't tell you.
Could there have been a demon blight breakout here? This village doesn't look like it's been attacked, but...
Whatever it is. If it keeps the Abbey's eyes off us for once, that's good enough for me.
You really will use anything and everything toward your own aims, won't you?
Yep, and that includes you, as I'm sure you've noticed.
Still, something curious is going on. The demon and Haria. And this looks like the last one.
It sounds like deciphering the text might take some time.
We should be prepared to wait it out here a while. Hopefully it'll all be worth it in the end.
I hope so too. But ancient Avarost is complex. It's not just a matter of knowing the grammar and vocabulary.
Oh? Then how exactly do you read it?
I'm not sure about the specifics myself, but from what I understand, you kind of have to intuit a lot of it.
A language based on guesswork? Thanks, old dead people. You're officially the worst. Oh, ancient Avarost. You have the obstinacy of a spurned lover who refuses to move on.
Even for you, teacher?
It's this one crucial line. I can't wrap my head around it.
Well, from what you've taught me so far, it looks like it says... Saw, Popo, Mucho,
Mucho?
Sancho.
Mucho.
Correct, but if you merely translate it word for word, it ends up saying, the parent hates tomatoes, the child eggplants.
I doubt those have much to do with Innominat. Yeah.
I don't know. It could be hitting
Their
meaning.
grammar is nothing like ours. Sometimes you have to reorder the words, and even then the meaning can require leaps of logic and flashes of intuition.
Reordering? So like... San-san, Pocho Pocho, Pocho Musan, Pocho Musan. Can you read it that way?
Pocho Muson. Now where did you get that from?
These words are lined up, like they repeat. And when I read this part that same way, it just felt right.
Pocho Muson. If that's repeated here, then the passage turns into... the Nameless Empyrean.
How utterly convenient.
Oh, that has to refer to Innominat. I think we're on to something. Alright, so if we apply this rule here, then... It would seem to be a book of children's counting songs.
It's not about Innominat?
What matters is what the song says, child. And I think you will be very interested in the words.
Do you like eggplants, child? It's good for
I
you.
wonder if they've made any progress yet.
Shall we go check on them?
Eggplants are good. Oh yeah, so I totally said this wrong. I guess it's one of those words that I just never really heard out loud before.
These cards look like they hold many secrets.
So let me go to Google really quick. We're gonna really quick figure this one out once and for all. So I make sure I'm saying it right. I mean, I know I'm saying it wrong, but I want to make sure I'm saying it right. All right, here we go.
Tarot.
Tarot. So it's... See, I guess it's one of those words I never really heard out loud before. Like, I've read it, but I've never really heard anyone just, like, saying it.
Tarot.
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 Okay, I'm good now. But yeah, I totally said that wrong. I don't know, it's one of those words that I don't really think I've heard, like, spoken before. It's kind of weird. Can't offer the latest modern amenities, but nothing beats the sound of the waves to lull you to sleep.
Well, any results?
Yes, well, thanks to the boy here. As it turns out, he has quite the knack for languages.
Only because I've got the best teacher.
Careful, honey tongue. You'll give this old girl ideas. Huh? Now, child, I'm
hold
sure
on a
they're
second.
curious about
What
the
was
song
that?
we unearthed. Why don't you read it aloud?
Yes, teacher.
Song?
8-headed is the lord of the land, with 7 mouths to devour malevolence. Through pulses of earth doth
Someone say,
base nature's flow,
malevolence!
as he awaits the time of awakening. 4 Empyreans may tear him asunder, but so long as there is one receptive to divine power, Therians shall be forever reborn, in sight of the full crimson moon. The nameless Empyrean hath one heart. The nameless Empyrean hath one body.
That one line seemed especially important. The Therian and full moon thing, yeah.
Essentially, this ancient text you found is an annotated volume of drawings and songs pertaining to Enominat. Annotated? Then hurry up and just tell us what it means.
I'm sorry. So far, we've only figured out how to read the song lyrics.
All right.
I take it we're still in for a good long wait before it's thoroughly decrypted.
Likely so, but if we want to find out what the Abbey is up to, we need to know what's in this book, no matter how long it takes.
What the Abbey's up to, is it? I think we can learn much, even from the lyrics alone. The drawings depict him with 8 heads. One of them belongs to his main body, but the other 7 are his mouths. Those mouths consume malevolence, sending it along Earth pulses back to that main body so he can awaken. The 7 monsters fitting that description are called
Therians.
Right. Now as for this malevolence, I have no idea what that means.
Malevolence?
What about the second part?
I haven't studied much ancient history, but it said this world was created by 4 Empyreans: Earth, Water, Wind, and Fire. But they also call Enominat an Empyrean. Perhaps a war broke out between Enominat and the other Empyreans that resulted in him being sealed away.
But if there is someone to connect with this divine power, the Therians will keep spawning. And just like that, Enominat will be revived. If we assume that Shepherd Artorius fits that bill, and that he's trying to reawaken Enominat, everything lines up.
Which means our job is to find these Therians and cut off Enominat's heads, so to speak.
But where do we even start looking for them?
You got one right here.
Remember, the song states that the Therians and Enominat's body are connected through Earth pulses. If their job is to feed Enominat, the most effective place to position them would be at the Earth pulse points.
Points?
The places where the power of Earth pulses is concentrated.
By the way, I'm really digging this
Places
background
with
music
that
here.
sigil. Hey, remember the barrier that was keeping this bug in the forest?
Wait, are you trying to say that thing's a Therian? And yet, it would explain why the Abbey was keeping it locked up.
Is that why that one thing was
And there
locked
was
up?
that same barrier at the villa, too.
Yeah.
That's right. Do you suppose that was also a Therian? Does that mean the Therians all come in different forms?
Should we go to Logres and check?
We've just started deciphering the book. I'd hate to lose time on some fool's errand. I'd rather know at least a little more about what's in it before we make a move.
Something bothering you, Grim?
This line. The one about Therians being forever reborn.
I just felt the same thing as I did in Warg Forest.
needle's pointing in the direction of Amenoch's temple, Palamedes. Do I recall hearing that the Abbey took that over?
Oh, yes, you did.
Temples and
Oh,
ritual
boy.
sites are often built on places thought to be rich in spiritual energy. Could the temple possibly be an Earth Pulse point?
There's lots of Earth Pulse points scattered all over the world. If there's only 7 Therians, most of them will be empty.
It's not like we have any better leads. If there's even a chance, shouldn't we go check it out?
Better than sitting around waiting on the book. If nothing else, we'll find out what Laphicet is sensing. Just a theory, but if you were to kill a Therian... What? I guess there's only one way to find out. Never mind. Good luck out there.
That was actually really cool. You know, to be perfectly honest, I've been having some level of difficulty remaining interested in this part of the game. It just kind of like slowed down and became uncompelling, I guess. But now I'm kind of starting to get interested again. I think I kind of felt the same way in the last game too, though. They have kind of that weird way where the start of the game's exciting, and then it kind of like gets a little sloggy in the middle. Like you're just doing things and it doesn't really feel like it's having a giant impact on the story as a whole. It's just like, let's go on a random boat adventure to go save our crew from a fake curse. And then, you know, you finally hit a point where you start getting some more story and then it gets more interesting again. That's what happened last game. I remember that being the same way. I'll keep up the deciphering work on my own. You all go see if there's a clue in the temple. We'll need to see it for ourselves if we're after the truth. But yeah, like I said, last game kind of did this same thing. At least if I'm reading it right. It might be slightly different. You don't understand. We have nothing to do with the priestess. The past is the past. We now seek the blessing of the Empyrean Innominat. There's an abbey camp at Palamedes. Beyond the village is Far Gate. But to get there you have to pass through all the perils of Manon Reef. It's no trip for ordinary folk. But for demons... I'm sure we can do it. Step aside, peasant.
Who are you?
The innkeeper's daughter. I happened to overhear you all talking about going to Palamedes and...
We'll have to kill her now.
Did you report us to the Abbey?
Report? But you already have an exorcist with you.
Yeah. Why would you need to report anything if we already have an
any
exorcist?
Business, talk with her then.
I'm Eleanor Hume, an exorcist with
She
the
gets
Abbey.
put on the spot a
How
lot,
might I
doesn't
be of
she?
Service?
She really does.
I want you to look for someone. A mother and her child went to visit the Abbey grounds, but they haven't returned.
They've both gone missing?
Yes. The mother's name is Mahina. She's a priestess of Amenoch. And her little daughter's name is Kamoana.
Hold on. If she's a priestess of Amenoch...
Right. Ever since the Abbey booted her out from the temple, she's been regularly going back to make her objections heard.
Uh-oh.
But one day...
They used
she
her for
never
science
returned
experiments.
home. And now her daughter has disappeared too. I can only assume that she went to go look for her mother.
And you believe they're being held at the temple?
Oh no, ma'am. I just can't imagine Mahina would abandon her daughter like that. Kamoana is next in line to succeed her, so she's had a strict upbringing, but her mother truly loves her. Please forgive Mahina for her protests. I was just hoping you could use the Abbey's resources to track them down.
I will do everything in my power to find them.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Like Kamoana, I grew up with only my mother as family. I can't help but worry for them.
Of course. Let's be off, Miss Exorcist.
They really do put her on the spot. It's just like, oh, why would I need to report you to the Abbey? You have an exorcist. And they're like, oh, right. Forgot about that. It happens so much. It really does. Alright. This really isn't a very pleasant road. You take one step the wrong way and into the water you go.
What's your game here?
The mother and daughter, you mean? That's on me. I'll search for them myself.
I don't care about that.
Well, what then?
Why are you actively helping us decipher the book, when we're using it to thwart the Abbey's plans?
You think I might be deliberately misleading you? Laying a trap of some sort for you all?
Are you?
I think you're a lot of things, Demon. But foolish is not one of them. I want to know
That was
the
a
truth.
compliment.
I want to know what Lord Artorias is trying to accomplish. And there's something happening in the world right now. I want to know what it is. Unfortunately, little old Eleanor has never been deemed trustworthy enough to be given such information. So, my only option is to find out for myself.
You've got the soul searching down at least.
The Abbey and your band of rogues follow two different paths. But something tells me either will lead me to the same destination.
And so you don't see any need to lie to us?
Exactly.
And what'll you do if those truths don't line up cleanly with what you believe?
I'm not sure yet.
As honest an answer as any. Either way, it looks like you'll be working with us for the near future.
Yes, for now.
Hey, could I ask you something?
What is it?
About the Therians. I've heard you call yourself a Therian before. Is there any particular insight you have about them?
No, none. Artorias said I was one, that's all.
And that doesn't bother you?
Does it bother you?
Nope, not at all. If you're not worried, then neither am I.
I'm surrounded by freaks. But was that truly the reason Ceres chose me?
I've kind of got this far-off idea that at the end of the story, Velvet's going to have to sacrifice herself or something to kill the last Therian. Just something, you know, maybe. I don't know. Maybe we won't actually have to kill any Therians. Who knows?
Velvet keeps picking on Madame Eleanor. They're total opposites, so I know they're just gonna clash sometimes, but Velvet takes it too far!
You really think they're totally opposite?
If Madame Eleanor is a white lily, then Velvet is a black rose. If Madame Eleanor is a soaring Pegasus, then Velvet is a wolf in the shadows. If Madame Eleanor is a plate of spaghetti carbonara, Velvet is squidding noodles with seaweed.
I don't follow you completely, but I think I get the point.
I'm sure you understand. The two have nothing at all in common. And since they don't share anything in common, some fighting now and then just can't be helped.
Well, they both have beautiful hair.
Okay, but we're talking a noble exorcist and an aloof demon.
Eleanor sometimes treats you coldly. And Velvet has helped me more times than I can count.
Madame Eleanor gives herself fully to the salvation of others, but Velvet is bent solely on revenge.
That means they're both motivated by thoughts of others.
How is the cheerful and talkative Madame Eleanor at all the same as the brooding, taciturn Velvet?
She looks so
Both of them
angry.
talk to me when it's just the two of us together.
You're just trying to be contrary.
I'm only telling you what I've experienced.
Actually, I feel that Madame Eleanor isn't really reaching out to me.
It's alright if Eleanor doesn't want to talk to you. I'm here for you, Bienfu. You aren't alone.
That just makes me feel lonely.
You
two are opposites yourselves. Huh?
That's actually pretty true. I like this field area. This is kind of cool. Remember back when I was complaining about all the cookie cutter field areas? This is doing nice things for me. This is a very unstandard, non-cookie cutter field area. So I'm particularly enjoying it. You know, they got these big overarching, like, cavernous looking things, and there's like thin layers of water everywhere. It's really cool. Little bits of coral up. I can only assume that this is like in a low tide kind of situation right now. And that the water raises higher than this normally, because there's like plants sticking out of it. Coral, that's the word. Which aren't actually plants, if I'm not mistaken. I don't really... Well, are they plants? I don't know. This is why the internet exists. So I can figure out answers to these questions. Also, I see evil squid monster over there. You're a squid now. You're a kid now. We'll have to go kill it. I really do think I'm actually suffering somewhat detrimentally to not fighting field enemies. I think that's why I've been having so much trouble with some of the bosses recently. So I'm gonna slip up and try to catch a couple of them.
A foe worth killing.
That last one was like even more brutal than any of the other ones. Not only was he like one-shotting people, but he was one-shotting brutes. Oh man, yeah, just take all my souls, please. Yeah, just take them all. I hate souls.
I'll finish this.
Is there a reason why I can't hit anything?
How's that? No escape. No escape.
Sure do love dying. I'm trying to avoid having to use all of my healing items already. Alright, whatever. I am the worst. Come on. No, stop. Stop it with your hitting. Okay. Clearly bad situations today. Let me escape. Get me out of this terrible nightmarish situation I'm in.
Fighting is scary.
That's right, you get in that battle, kid. Okay, we'll fight weird snake things.
We will need to be extremely wary.
Look at that. Now we doing good. Oh man, yeah, now we're getting stunned. It's good. It's good. This is good. I don't think I even hit anything with that. That was great. Yeah. Stun. Oh, everyone's dead. I don't even know. Like, I think I might just be severely underleveled, really.
I enter the fray.
I kind of wish there was a way for you to... Because there was a way in the last game where you could, like, kind of swap out people who are dead, but there's not really a good way, like, if your field members are dead, to swap them out. I wish you could do that. And then have them, you know, be on the back lines and heal up. Because I think you could do that in the last game, and it was nice.
What?
Yeah. Yeah, let's just die. Let's just die. Here. I've got an idea. Immediate death. Their stun chance is so high. Like, they get stunned easily, but like, their attacks do so much stun.
I refuse to fall here.
Actually, here's another question. Is there a way in the strategy guide, not strategy guide, but to make them swap? Like, I want them to, I don't know, swap when they get low on health or something and they have enough BG to do so effectively. Run rampant. I don't think so. I think I have to manually do that, but that would be super convenient if they would just do it for me, you know? Oh yeah, ship's here.
Scout.
Anyway, I should also probably quick save. Whoa, hold on.